Thor and Hulk on a buddy adventure in space. Count me in! Hey, what's up, you guys? Film fan 0599 here again, and today we're going to review Thor Ragnarok. So Thor Ragnarok stars Chris Hemsworth, Tom Hiddleston, Tessa Thompson, Jeff Goldblum, what else? Carl Urban, Mark Ruffalo, and Kate Blanchett. And what this film is basically about, it's about, what happens is Hela gets awakened after so many years, and now she's trying to take over Asgard. And Thor is on another planet, which is held by the Grand Master, and the Hulk is there too with him. So now Thor needs to find a way to get off of this planet so he can go and fight Hela and save Asgard. So what did I think of Thor Ragnarok? Now, Thor Ragnarok, going into it, I was very excited. I really was. I personally, with the Thor movies, it's very weird with me. I really loved the first movie at first when I first saw it, but every time I rewatched it, it got worse and worse the more times I rewatched it, and I just think that's an okay movie now. I think that's like the second worst MCU movie, honestly. I don't really enjoy that movie all that much. Thor: The Dark World, although I still really like the movie, it's not as great as I remembered it being but I still really like that movie a lot. So I am indifferent with the Thor movies than a lot of other people are. So I was excited going into this. I thought maybe this could be the best Thor movie from the looks of the trailers, from the way that they were marketing this movie. I was very excited to see what they could do with this film. And honestly, it was everything I could possibly have asked for. It is a fantastic movie. I loved Thor Ragnarok. Thor Ragnarok is quite great. It is such a fantastic movie, and it's hilarious. Like, seriously, this movie is, like, hilarious. The comedy with this film is fantastic. I loved it. Like, this movie is generally funny, and also generally really good with its serious moments, too. Like, there are some really serious moments that do happen in this film, and they do handle that well with the comedy as well. They do a nice balance, I think, with this in the film. So yeah, Thor Ragnarok, great movie. But why is it a great movie, you may ask? Well, let's get into the positives first with the movie. And first with the positives are, first being the acting. The acting is really great in this movie. I think the acting is really fantastic in this film. Chris Hemsworth, once again, does a great job as the title character, Thor. He's fantastic. I love him in this role. He really, brings a lot to this character, He embodies this character very, very well. And I think Thor is a very underrated Avenger. I think he kind of gets thrown to the curve way too much with people. Like, he's really great, and Chris Hemsworth definitely gives his best performance as the character in this movie. He's really great, he's really witty, he's very funny, and it just added so much to his character. He was great. I loved him in the movie. Tom Hiddleston, of course, as Loki. I loved him as well. Just was great to see him again. He did a fantastic job. Tessa Thompson was great too. I thought she did a fantastic job in the movie too. And she plays Valkyrian, it's like something like that. And she does a really great job in the movie too. I did enjoy her in the film. Jeff Goldblum, who basically just plays Jeff Goldblum in this movie, and it's glorious in every way. Like, seriously, he is great. I could watch a whole movie with the Grand Master. He was great as this character. I loved him as the Grand Master. He was so funny to watch. Like, seriously, he was really great in this movie. Mark Ruffalo, of course, as the Hulk. I loved seeing him again. Like, it was great to see Hulk in a non-Avenger movie. You know what I mean? It was great to see him in an actual, kind of, not in his own movie, but in a movie that's not a part with the Avengers, if you know what I mean. So it was great to see him again in the movie, and he was fantastic. I loved Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk. He was great. He really did. And honestly, he gives his best portrayal as the character as well. So yeah, I really enjoyed him. Carl Urban is great too. I enjoyed him as well. And Kate Blanchett was really good as Hela. I did enjoy her a lot. Was a very good villain in my opinion. I did think she did a good job. She was a very good villain in my eyes. So yeah, Hela, very good, and Kate Blanchett did a very good job portraying her. And the director, Taika Waititi, he plays a character in this movie called Korg, and this guy was great. Okay, I loved Korg. Okay, I am hopping on the Korg bandwagon. Okay, Korg is great. I loved him in this movie. He just steals the entire show every time he's on screen. I loved him so much. Like him, the Grandmaster, and Thor himself are like the best characters in the whole film. I loved Korg in this movie. He was just great. So yeah, I loved Taika Waititi as Korg. He did such a great job. He was very funny. Speaking of funny, the comedy with this movie is, well, funny. I really thought this movie was hilarious. Seriously, this movie had me dying of laughter at some points. Like, actually a lot during this movie. Within the first scene alone, I was just dying of laughter. Like, the way the comedy is held in this movie is great. Like, really, I really thought the way that they handled the comedy in this movie was quite fantastic. And you know, it really was genuinely funny. There was never a time, honestly, where I didn't think the comedy didn't work. Like, seriously, every comedic moment in this movie that happened was genuinely funny. I did laugh at it. So, yeah, the comedy is really great. Like, I really love the comedic timing with this movie. Like, seriously, it is really fantastic. And like I said before, this movie does get serious at points. And the way it, you know, gets serious at times in the movie is really good. Like, I thought they handled it very well, and of course balancing that with the humor. Like, there is some dark stuff that does happen in this movie. Like, of course, no spoilers, but there is some gruesome stuff that does happen in this movie. I'm like, why are not more people talking about this? Like, there are some serious moments that do happen in the film, and I thought they were very well handled, and did a really good job of balancing that with the comedy as well. So, yeah, I thought they did a great job with that. Seeing the banter with Chris Hemsworth and Mark Ruffalo together with Thor and Hulk was great. Like, I love that. Like, the banter between the two of them was quite fantastic. I love the back and forth between the both of them, especially when he's in this Hulk form. You know, Mark Ruffalo, it's great. I loved it. And, you know, and Hulk gets to actually speak dialogue, like, in Hulk form. And it's great. Just the back and forth the two of them have together is just fantastic. And, of course, with Thor and Loki, it's great too. Like, I love their back and forth as well. So, yeah, I love the chemistry with those characters. They were just fantastic. The soundtrack is really great to this movie. I really love the score to it, and they do play Immigrant Song, and it's great. Like, the way that they use it in this movie, fantastic. And just the score in general, like, I love the score with this movie. It's really fantastic. I loved it a lot. Like, besides Baby Driver, this is probably my favorite soundtrack of the year. Like, besides Baby Driver, I think this movie has a really great soundtrack to it. I really love the music with this film. It really kind of meshed with the atmosphere of the film, and they did a really solid job with it. So, yeah, props to whoever did the score for the movie. The writing is great. The writing is fantastic with this movie. Definitely has one of the best screenplays of the year. I love it so much. I really love the writing with this movie. It is quite fantastic. It has some really great writing to it. You know, the dialogue between all the characters are great. The directing is fantastic. Like I said, it's directed by Taika Waititi. Great. Fantastic directing with this movie. I really love the directing with this film. And what I forgot to mention this, but the action sequences, how he handles those as well, are really great. There are some really great action sequences in this film, especially a gladiator battle sequence, which you probably have seen in the trailers and stuff like that. But the way that scene is handled, great. So yeah, he does a great job of handling the action sequences, and he just does a fantastic job directing overall, honestly. You know, it's very well shot. Editing is really great too, and the cinematography is absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, Taika Waititi, great job, man. Did a fantastic job directing this film. Seriously, I really loved his directing with the movie. The visual effects, for the most part, I thought were really great. I really did think the visual effects were really great for the most part, and I did think they were really great. Like, the way the kind of atmosphere, that planet that they're on, is really great. Like, I really love the atmosphere, how it looks. it's really fantastic. So yeah, the visual effects for the most part are really great. And the pacing as well is really great for the most part too. Like, I really did think the movie moved at a nice natural pace for the most part, honestly. And, you know, they did a good job with the pacing, honestly. So yeah, I was invested for the most part. Now, there are some negatives I do have with the movie, and one of the negatives are first being sometimes the visual effects don't look that great. Only sometimes. There are some points where I did notice there was some obvious green screen, and it did look like obvious CGI to me. Like, there are some points in the film where it kind of is like, yeah, that's CGI. Like it's honestly badly noticeable at times. Only at times, really. Like, for the most part, the visual effects are really good with the movie. But there are some times in the film where they don't look that great. Just at times. And lastly, the pacing can get a little bit slow at times. There are some times where I do think the movie kind of tones it down a bit and it kind of drags a little bit. But that's only sometimes. Like, only sometimes I felt the pacing. So, yeah. But besides those negatives, I really love Thor Ragnarok. Thor Ragnarok, although it's probably my least favorite out of Phase 3, which isn't saying much because I think all the movies in Phase 3 are really great. But this movie is still awesome. This is by far the best Thor movie we've gotten so far. I love this movie a lot. The humor is great. The action is fantastic. Just everything that is handled in this movie is great. So sci-fi official grade on Thor Ragnarok, and my official grade on Thor Ragnarok is an A-. It is a fantastic film. If you haven't seen Thor Ragnarok, definitely go out and see it. It is just a great, fun time to watch, seriously. It has great humor, great characters, great action, great serious moments as well. It's just an overall great time. I loved Thor Ragnarok a lot. It's a fantastic film. It's great. Definitely go out and see it. Definitely deserves an A-. So, if you have seen Thor Ragnarok, what did you think of it? Leave in the comment section below. And I'm FilmFan0599, and we will see you about later. Peace.